Set the city on fire, then we produce a generation. All we breed is violence. A moment of silence, then they bring the choir in. Another murder case in my city. Here comes the riot, and even if you suppress these words, I'ma keep on firing and firing. Cause every time a nigga speak, they silence him. While we trap inside this hood suburbs, we so quiet that they can hear a pin drop, but all we hear is fire pins. It's tiring. My hood was divided with two decisions: chasing some true religions and chasing a true religion. My only goal was finding a single soul who would listen. So without no pot to pissing, put a stop to my oppositions and conquer my competition. They telling me not to listen. They don't know that I'm at Satan, and he gave me a proposition. Told me play my position, meaning drop my religion. Said if you don't believe me, take a look at these politicians. They whisper about their visions. The mission is to convict them, sell them dreams of being all they can be, and now they enlisted front and center, but no one behind you fits your description. But you cannot control me, I am not a part of your system. Twisted the way we live, and I promise this game is so rigged. Before he hit the bus, they was busting at your kid. In the field throwing bullets where they got no picks. How ironic, homie intercepted the whole clip. The murder rate is vicious. My homie got a decent job, but he ain't making figures. My other homie finished school, they in the same position. America's biggest terror is an educated nigga. I'ma educate you niggas, show you history is real. They keep you locked inside your mind, but you get no appeal. Who would've ever thought gaining knowledge would get you killed? Like you can read and write, let's see if you can read your rights. You're smart enough, read your will. I heard from a niggas, work from a niggas. They don't give a damn what your worth is, nigga. Spend your whole life trying to plant your seed, and you still gonna end up where the dirt is, nigga. I know it's hard to stay strong, even if you make your days long. They're gonna make sure you never see 40, so that 401k gone. Cause they don't wanna see you get your bread up, nigga. They just wanna see you as a fed up, nigga. They don't wanna see you make it, they don't wanna see you make it. They just wanna see you make it to the setup, nigga. They put us in the hood with no way out. They wanna see how things gonna play out. We're an experiment of an experiment, and we could die for nothing at their expense. And the only way to survive, gotta grind, ain't giving out jobs. And your daddy gone, you the man in the house, the only motivation is mom. But the nigga on the corner in the same position, he'll kill anything just to feed his children. He won't budge, you won't budge. Next thing you know, y'all banging pistols. They don't care if you cracking, they don't care if you popping, they don't care if you ball. You a future doctor, under the radar, it's just a plastic whip when you die. It's a mission accomplished, return of the lost souls. But little do y'all know, y'all was headed for the crossroads and didn't even cross roads. Y'all got the city on fire, fire. Y'all got the city on fire, fire. And we gon' let that mother burn.
Greetings, Executive Vibe Show. Welcome back to the Leon Block. I am your guy, John Tell, here with more. Well, this webisode is news. Y'all know this is probably my third episode today. But there's a lot going on. You know, there's a lot going on out here. And I'm always more than happy to bring y'all the news. I want to, obviously, in a second I'm going to get to it, but I want to talk about what happened the other day with the incident in Oakland. So if you are looking at the screen now, there was a protest today in front of the Oakland Police Department. It says many of us awoke this morning in horror to see the video of Oakland police jumping on top of and brutalizing a young Arab teen in Oakland yesterday. Concerned members of the Arab community of the southwest suburbs and our allies are calling for an emergency rally to protest against Oakland Police Department's racist brutality. The officers involved need to be fired immediately. And so real quick, I'm going to show y'all footage.
These cops is fighting this little kid. Ooh, person to traditional tank water.
Why is they beating him like this? It's a little old boy. Look.
Dreams come true. Visit Tankless
Yeah, Diddy, I'm getting this on camera. Move y'all ass out the way. This cop just wanna look. Now the cop wanna come in front. They wanna record. I'm finna get out. Hold on. Let me see what they doing. Why is they beating him up? Ooh. Y'all, this is a little kid. I don't even want to get over that because they police be doing dumb shit, getting to shooting and shit. Y'all ain't finna shoot me. This is a little kid. What the fuck?
Now, if y'all remember me talking about this the other day, and yes, Kristen, it is terrifying. The person who posted this is the cousin, apparently. She said, my cousin gets pulled over for no reason, and my cousin was the victim getting brutally beat by Oak Lawn police, who's in the back seat, gets questioned and forced out of the car, and out of fear, he runs across the street and gets tackled by the cops who claim he was reaching in his bag when he was actually trying to cover his face as he was getting punched over and over, as you saw on the camera footage. Then he gets beat and dragged to the cop car almost unconscious as he's screaming in pain for 5 minutes until they bring the ambulance and he gets transferred to Christ Hospital and then handcuffed to the bed as he's leaking for over 30 minutes and wasn't seen or checked on. The cop at the scene claims he didn't beat him, but that the bruises were from the tackle when they caught him. Look at that. Look at that. That's not from a fall. That is not from being tackled. All right. So the Family Soup TV is on the scene in Oak Lawn and has been providing coverage from all the different rallies and protests going on. I like this. Hey, mainstream media, why aren't you covering the story of the boy who was brutalized by officers at Village of Oak Lawn Police? Did I put Oak Park? Don't worry, we'll wait. We can only hope this makes national news sooner than later. Not a single broadcasting agency has covered this story yet. Okay, I did put Oak Lawn. I just wanted to go ahead and double check. Sorry about that. 1 second. All right, so I want to go to this article as well via the Family Soup TV from WGN9 Chicago station. Teen brutalized, hospitalized after video shows him beaten by Oak Lawn cops. So at least the local station did pick it up, but I mean, what the fuck is that? I'll post this link in the comments for y'all to check out. Do y'all due diligence and brush up on the information. All right, so I do want to go to some of the footage from.
No! Shut it down! If we don't get it! If we don't get it! If we don't get it! What do we want? When do we want it? No justice! No justice! No racism! No raises. No justice. No raises. Make some noise. We're gathered here today to demand justice for Hadi. And I want you to scream on top of your lungs. Now, it's not the first time that the Arab community experiences any type of racism. We're racially profiled. We're criminalized. We have informants and spies sent to our mosques.
Talk about
and
it.
our communities.
Talk about it.
This ain't right. It's a part of a larger systematic problem
Talk about
our
it.
community faces. And we want you all to scream on top of your lungs and to show up today for Hadi and his family and for all the Arab community. What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? If we don't get it, 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 who streets, 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 no justice. If we don't get it, if we don't get it, if we don't get it, who's streets? Who's streets? Let them know who's
That's right.
streets. Who's streets? Who's streets? Tell me what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. Show me what community looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. Show me what community looks like. Who's streets? Who's streets? Who's streets? Who's streets? No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. And if we don't get it, 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 who's
The more people that this is affected by, the more people hopefully will come together in solidarity, because it's happening to all of us. It's happening to young white boys. It's happening to young Middle Eastern, young Asian, young black boys, obviously, young Latinx. It's happening to all of us. What's going on here?
Go to your car. That's it. Real smart, bro. Hey, this was peaceful. Let's keep it that way.
How can you keep it peaceful when all these police are standing there like that? Like, come on.
Go to your car. Stop. I'm yelling. Let's go. Let's move it. Move to the car. Please go home. Come on, guys. Let's go. Nonsense. AR-15s at a protest.
We feel you guys. We feel you. Just need to go home. We need you. We are with you. We are with you.
Let's go. The counter protesters left, but there's a lot of police here still, you guys. No justice! No peace! No racism! No peace! No justice! No peace! No racism!
First of all, let me say, Soup, I wish I was there because, like, we could tag team that shit and get, like, really awesome footage together. And I'm glad that someone is there on the ground providing us footage because it is important. It's important because mainstream media clearly is not picking it up, and we cannot rely or trust them to do it anyway because, you know, they're going to spin the story and the narrative in favor of police.
No peace! No justice! Police! No ISIS! Police! No justice! Police! All right, can we continue rallying in the front? Let's get to the car. You got nothing to do. You know there's some fucking criminals out there, but you're picking on the wrong fucking people.
Talk about it.
No racist! No street! Us! Street! Our 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 street! This is what community looks like! You guys are enticing me! I can't hear you. Let's take out our anger and shake. Yo. Hey, guys, just back up. Please, back up, guys. Please. Back up.
No, listen.
يا شباب خلينا نرجع but if they move that way, you guys are going to come towards us. That's your technique. Hey, guys, move that way, please. Everybody, just move that way. Everybody back. Keep your peace. Move this way. That's it. Just move.
Stay with us.
I do want to pause this really quick because it's just, you see that police presence, and you've seen how the police have been wilding out, like from Minnesota to Pennsylvania to Kentucky to Ohio. And as of the 21st, July 21st, 2022, today President Biden announced a plan to fund programs intended to make America, quote unquote, safer. The president's plan proposes investments in two competing approaches to this goal. The first is to hire more police officers and call for more criminalization and incarceration. For decades, this approach has failed to make us safer, and it is alarmingly reminiscent of 1990-style policies that fueled mass incarceration. The second approach, however, is to significantly invest in community-based programs and services that have proven to prevent violent crime and can make America safer for everyone. This is the approach that we need to embrace in 2022 to create thriving communities. The ACLU Deputy Legal Director and Director of the Trone Center for Justice and Equality said in response, quote, President Biden rightly states that to achieve safety for all communities, we need greater investment in social services, and we need to make the criminal legal system more fair. Shifting our focus to crime prevention through supportive services is an important development. President Biden announced several measures that would put us on the right path. The plan includes investments in education, housing, and job training, and proposes lifting barriers to re-entry for formerly incarcerated people. These measures would effectively promote stability and prevent violence. He also seeks to put safety in the hands of those best suited to address the acute problems created when societal failures leave people and communities behind. Social workers, crisis intervention workers, and violence interrupters. By investing in alternatives to policing, including alternative responses to behavioral health calls, the president demonstrates that he understands the need to adopt preventative approaches to help keep people and neighborhoods safe. However, in this moment of fear and concern, the president must not repeat yesterday's mistakes today. He calls for hiring, get this, 100,000 additional state and local police officers, the same increase in officers as the 1994 crime bill. This failed strategy did not make America safer. Instead, it resulted in massive over-policing and rampant rights violations in our communities. Moreover, Biden's plan does not articulate a specific proposal to ensure that both existing and new officers are accountable to the public and consistently respect individuals' constitutional rights. And while it is important that the president's plan commits to fixing the racist sentencing disparity between crack and powder cocaine, it regrettably also perpetuates the war on drugs by calling for harsh new penalties for fentanyl offenses. While we are pleased with the president's commitment to investing in communities, we strongly urge him to not repeat the grave errors of the 90s. Policies that exacerbated racial disparities, contributed to widespread police abuses, and created our current crisis of mass incarceration. This article is from the ACLU.org. It's a press release. I will throw it in the comments for y'all. And why does this relate to Hadi? Police brutality, keeping America safer. Do you see what these police look like and what they are? Did you see in that video them beating that kid? We've already got to worry about vigilante, quote unquote, patriots with AK-47s and shit running around. I say this all the time. Biden, get your shit together. I went to that. Where's this? Okay. Officer involved in Jayland Walker shooting, previously shot at a suspect in downtown Akron. I'm going to put this in the comments as well. One of the 8 Akron police officers who shot and killed Jayland Walker had previously fired a gun at a suspect after a shooting downtown, but missed, records provided Thursday show. The same officer also was the subject of 8 citizen complaints ranging from racial bias and a lack of courtesy to wrongful arrest and excessive force. The city determined that each of the complaints was unfounded or unsubstantiated, according to records. 3 other officers who shot Walker had a combined 4 complaints against them, and none of them was substantiated either, according to records. It's unclear what's behind any of the complaints or when they were filed, because the city redacted the names of the officers involved and any information that could potentially identify them. So I filed a right to know request with the Akron Police Department. I want to pull up the file, show it to y'all, and read it. Okay, so I've got one that's the response letter, and then one that is the redacted letter. Okay. So the person who filed this for me, it's a stamp from the mayor. I doubt it actually was written by him, but it says, this letter is supplementing in response to your public record request for the incident report, including supplemental notes of the investigating officers, witness statements, and narratives for the above referenced incident, according to referencing Jayland Walker. The incident report was sent to you via electronic mail. The city is supplementing those responses with the records attached to this letter. Officer names and identifying information have been redacted from the reports. Officers have a fundamental constitutional interest in preventing the release of private information when disclosure would create a substantial risk of serious bodily harm or possibly even death from a perceived likely threat. That's what it says in this document here. The city of Akron reserves the right to deny public record requests for reasons not included herein in accordance with applicable laws. This response may be supplemented. Sincerely, the City of Akron Law Department. So let me go ahead and go to the document here. This is the police report. On the 27th of June, while working in car 10, I, Officer Blank, and my partner, Officer Blank, responded to a vehicle pursuit for a driver failing to stop for a vehicle traffic violation / equipment violation. As we know, I don't think that that's true, because in the video, whatever. I was driving in. We responded to Kenmore Boulevard and Victory Street. When en route, car 24 radioed that his shots were fired from within that suspect vehicle. We went to South Main Street and then got on to 76 East to 77 South. As we got on to 77 South, car 24 radioed that the vehicle would be coming up to our side and to be careful. Our vehicle at this time was in the lead. Car 20 was behind us, following us from South Main Street. I thought the suspect vehicle would continue going down South 77 South on 77 South. We were almost past the exit to Archwood Ave, and the vehicle then got off. I wasn't able to get off of the exit without slamming on my brakes. Slightly to the left of the exit at that time, we waited for all the cruisers that were following the suspect vehicle to pass us before we got off the exit. You following? We then paralleled the chase, going west on Firestone Boulevard to South Main Street. We then went south on South Main Street and east onto Wilbeth Road. We arrived on the scene with the other officers, and at that time, the suspect was laying on the ground, and officers began to approach him with guns drawn. I approached as well with my firearm drawn. Multiple other officers immediately began to provide medical treatment to the suspect. I then started asking officers where the suspect vehicle was and if anyone else was in the vehicle. One of the officers said the vehicle was over there, meaning across the street. I started running across the street with the other officers to clear the vehicle of potential other suspects. Once I got to the vehicle, I identified myself as Akron Police, and if anyone else was in the vehicle to have their hands up. Myself and Officer Blank and other officers cleared the vehicle. There was no one else in the vehicle. I then went back to Wilbeth Road and started to move cruisers to the side of the road and securing ones that were left unlocked. I then went onto the perimeter of Wilbeth Road and onto the east side of the scene. I was there to prevent unauthorized people or vehicles from entering the area. I was eventually cleared to leave the scene by Sergeant Blank. I then met up with Officer Blank, my partner, and we went back into service. So here's the narrative. Okay, this is the part that really gets me. So I arrived at the intersection of Wilbeth Road and Claremont as shots began to start. I exited my cruiser and ran northbound into the parking lot. I positioned myself to the left of the officers involved and asked if all of them were good. When they responded yes, I placed my gloves on my hands and we all moved into the suspect in handcuffs. I grabbed both of the suspect's wrists and rolled him over onto his stomach. I continued to hold onto his left wrist and then pulled his right wrist from under his body. I placed both his wrists behind his back and another officer placed handcuffs on the suspect. At this point, other officers arrived and immediately began to render aid. I held a flashlight for these officers until the AFD arrived. You knew homie was dead, but you handcuffed him anyway and then rendered aid. Y'all some sick motherfuckers. Said I exited the cruiser and proceeded toward the parking lot of the Bridgestone building where the incident took place. I observed a male lying on the ground with several gunshot wounds to his body. I assisted in rendering aid to the male on the ground. I continued to assist until EMS arrived on the scene. Once EMS was on the scene, I assisted in local several shell casings that were in the parking lot. I then stood by on the perimeter of the scene until I assisted in paperwork in an unrelated case at Akron Police Station. There's a bunch of different, they gave us all, they gave us a good amount. I don't know if this is all of it, and then it's all redacted, so you can't see the names anyway, but at least we have this. I, Officer Blank, assisted in this incident by responding to the scene right after the shots were fired. I helped secure the perimeter and helped keep the vehicle secure while BCI did their investigation until I was relieved. So for anyone who would like this report, DM me and I can send it to you. I can email it to you. You can email me at theleonblock@gmail.com and I'll send it to you. Or I can send you the information on how you yourself can file a right to know request with the Akron Police Department for anything. It doesn't have to be just for Jayland Walker. All right. I think that is enough for this webisode for tonight. It's been a long one, y'all. I am tired. Make sure you meditate on your path, celebrate your being, liberate your spirit, and educate yourself. I am John Tell. Have a good one.